How can you say to me, I am the king?
Mine than yours, and then
The better part of valor is
Wherefore rejoice.
uneasy lives that take friends.
Thy spirit never failed, lest we go with him. Cold as any stone is the hurt. Not as cold as any stone.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, with princes to act and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits who have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, and let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work.
Come away, love, and in that cypress let me be laid. Fly away, breath. I am slain by a fair cruel maid.
I pray you tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong, I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. There's something tells me, but it is not love. I would not lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsel's not in such equality. But lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right. Oh, but I am then forsworn, so will I never be, so may you miss me. Oh, but if you do, then you will make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes, they have overlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other yours. Mine own, I would say. But if mine, then yours, and then so all yours. Oh, these naughty times put bars between owners and their rights. And so, though yours, not yours, but so let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long, but 'tis to appease the time, to eke it and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election.
Why, man, he doth bestride a narrow world, like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to the arrival of a dishonorable grave. Men at some time are masters of their fate. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, as we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What is in that Caesar? Why should his name be sounded more than yours? Write it, yours is as fair a name. As sounded, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh it is as heavy, conjure with it. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. What meat doth our Caesar feed that makes him grow so great? Age, and thou art shamed. Rome thou hath lost a breed of noble bloods, when went there by an age since the great floods, but was not fame with more than with one man? When till now that talked of Rome, and her wide walls encompassed but one man? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say, there is talk of a Brutus who would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled matter at its best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands.
I pray you hear her speak. If she confess that she was half the wooer, then destruction on my head, if my bad blame light on the man. But come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty. I am hitherto your daughter, but he is my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father. So much I challenge I may profess, due to the more my lord. Most gracious Duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperous ear, and let me find a charter in your voice to assist my simpleness, that I did love the more to live with him. My downright violence and storm of fortunes may trumpet to the world. My heart subdued even to the very quality of my lord. I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his honor in his valiant parts did I my soul and fortunes consecrate. So that, dear lords, if I be left behind a moth of peace, and he go to the war, the rights for which I love him are bereft me, and I a heavy interim shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him.
Go call the Earls of Surrey and of Warwick, but ere they come, bid them all read these letters, and well consider of them. Make good speed. How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Oh, sleep. Oh, gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse. How have I frightened thee, that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness? Why rather, sleep, liest thou on smoky cribs, upon uneasy pallets, stretching thee, and hushed with buzzing night flies in thy slumber? Then, in the perfumed chambers of the great, under canopies of costly state, and lulled with sound of sweetest melody? Oh, thou dull God, why liest thou with the vile and loathsome beds, and leavest the kingly couch a watch case or common larum bell? Wilt thou, upon the high and giddy mast, seal up the shipboy's eyes, and rock his brains in cradle of the rude imperious surge? Canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy reprieve to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and stillest night, with all applications and means to boot, deny it to a king? Then happy low, lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown.
Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is it that takes from thee thy stomach, thy pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth, and start so often when thou sittest alone? In thy faintest slumbers, I by thee have watched and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, and speak of manage to thy bounding steed, cry courage to the field. And thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of prisoners' ransom, and soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus has bestirred thee in thy sleep that
Sweat had stood upon thy brow like bubbles in a late, disturbed stream. What portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not.
Now, Cordelia, what can you say to draw even a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more nor less.
How, Cordelia? Amend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortunes.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as are right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands, if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all.
She didn't.
Sir. Gentlemen and friends, I thank you for your pains.
Is it possible you will away tonight?
I must away today before night come, but make it no wonder if you knew my business, you would entreat me rather go than stay.
Let us entreat you stay till after dinner.
It may not be.
Let me entreat you.
No, it cannot be.
Let me entreat you.
I am content.
Are you content to stay?
I am content that you shall entreat me stay. But yet not stay. Entreat me how you can.
If you love me, stay.
Grumio, my horse!
Nay then! Do what thou canst, I will not go today. No, nor tomorrow, not till I please myself. The door is open, sir! There lies your way. You may be jogging whilst your boots are green for me. I'll not be on how to please myself. 'Tis like you to prove a jolly, surely groom, that take it at the first so roundly.
Kate, content thee. Prithee, be not angry.
I will be angry! What hast thou to do? Father, be quiet! You shall stay at my leisure.
Aye, marry, sir, now it begins to work.
Onward, gentlemen, to the bridal room. I see a woman may be made a fool and she not have the spirit to resist.
Oh, and they shall go forward, Kate, at thy command. Obey the bride, you that attend on her. Go forth to the feast, revel and domineer. Carouse full measure to her maidenhead. Be mad and merry or go hang yourselves. But for my bonny Kate, she must with me. Nay! Look not big, nor stamp, nor stare, nor fret. I will be master of what is my own. She is my house, my household stuff, my field, my barn, my horse, my ox, my ass, my anything. And here she stands, touch her whoever dare. I'll bring mine action on the proudest he that stops my way in Padua. Grumio, draw forth thy weapon, we are beset with thieves. Rescue thy mistress if thou be a man. Oh, fear not, sweet wench, I shall protect thee, Kate. I'll buckler thee against a million.
Ah! Stand! We have the advantage of the ground. The lane is guarded and nothing routs us but the villainy of our fears.
I pray you spare me, please! On the breach!
Harry, thou hast robbed me of my youth. I am dust and food
for worms. Brave Percy, fare thee well, great heart. Ill-weaved ambition, how much art thou shrunk, when that this body did contain a spirit, a kingdom for it was too small a bound. But now, 2 paces of the vilest earth is room enough. This earth that bears thee dead, bears not alive so stout a gentleman. Adieu, and take thy praise with thee to heaven. Thy ignominy sleeps with thee in the grave, but not remembered in thy epitaph. What? Old acquaintance. Could not all this flesh keep in a little life? Poor Jack. Farewell. I could have better spared a better man. Oh, I should have a heavy miss of thee, if I were much in love with vanity. Death hath not struck so fat a deer today, though many dearer in this bloody fray. Embowed will I see thee by and by. Till then, in blood my noble Percy lie.
Emboweled? If thou embowel me today, I'll give you leave to powder me and eat me too tomorrow. Splat! 'Twas time to counterfeit, or that hot termagant Scot had paid me Scot and lot too. Counterfeit? I lie, I am no counterfeit. To die is to be a counterfeit, for he is but the counterfeit of a man who hath not the life of a man. But to counterfeit dying when a man thereby liveth is to be no counterfeit, but the true and perfect image of life indeed. The better part of valor is discretion, in the which better part I have saved my life. Zoons! I am afraid of this gunpowder Percy. Though he be dead, how if he should counterfeit to and rise? By my faith, I'm afraid he would prove the better counterfeit. Therefore, I'll make him sure, yea, and I'll swear I killed him. Why may not he rise as well as I? Nothing confutes me but eyes, and nobody sees me. Therefore, Sirrah, with this new wound in your thigh, come you along with me.
Yeah! Yes!
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? Oh, you blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things! Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome! Knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, chimney tops. Your infant in your arms there have sat, the livelong day with patient expectation, to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout that Tiber trembled underneath her banks to hear a replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone. Run away to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit this plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
nay. Sure he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom, if ever man were in Arthur's bosom. I made a finer end, and went away, and had been any Christom child. Aparted even between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For once I saw him fumble with the sheets, and play with flowers, and smile upon his fingers' ends. I knew there was but one way. For his nose was as sharp as a pin, and a babbled of green fields. How thou, Sir John, quoth I. What, man? Be o' good cheer. So I cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I to comfort him, bid him should not think of God. For I hoped there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So, bade me lay more clothes on his feet. I went to the bed and felt them. And they were as cold as any stone. And I felt to his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. And so upward, and upward, and all was as cold as any stone.
Brave Burgundy, undoubted hope of France, stay. Let thy humble handmaid speak to thee.
Speak on, but be not over tedious.
Look on thy country. Look on fertile France, and see the cities and the towns defaced by wasting ruin of the cruel foe. As looks the mother on her lowly babe, when death doth close his tender, dying eyes. See the pining malady of France. Behold the wounds, most unnatural wounds, which thou thyself hast given her woeful breast. Oh, turn thy edged sword another way! Strike those that hurt, and hurt not those that help. One drop of blood drawn from thy country's bosom should grieve thee more than streams of foreign gore. Return thee, therefore, with a flood of tears, and wash away thy country's stained spots. Besides, all French and France exclaims on thee, doubting thy birth and lawful progeny. Who joinst thou with? But with a lordly nation that will not trust thee, but for profit's sake. See, then, thou fightest against thy countrymen, and joinst with them will be thy slaughterment.
Is Bushy, Green, and the Earl of Wiltshire dead?
Aye, all of them at Bristol lost their heads. Oh, where's the Duke, my father, with his power?
Where? Of comfort no man speak. Let's talk of graves, of worms and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills. And yet, not so, for what can we bequeath, save our deposed bodies to the ground? Our lands, our lives, and all our Bolingbroke's, and not a thing can we call our own but death. And that small model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. Well, for God's sake, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. How some have been deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed. All murdered, for within the hollow crown which rounds the temples of a mortal king keeps death his court. Cover your heads and mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence, for you but mistook me all this while. Throw away respect, tradition, form, and ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you. I feel want. I taste grief. I need friends. Subjected thus, how can you say to me, I'm a king?
Brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland, come, make him stand upon that molehill here. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward, the lusty George, and where's that valiant crookback prodigy? Dickie, your boy? That with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly. I should lament thy miserable state. I pray thee, grieve to make me merry, York. Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldest be mad, and I, to make thee mad, mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York and lords. Bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I set it on. Aye, marry, sir, now he looks like a king. As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem now in his life against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown, his head. And whilst we breathe, take time to do him damage.
Do thou stand for my father and examine me upon the particulars of my life.
Shall I?
Yeah!
Content. This chair shall be my state, this dagger my scepter, and this cushion my crown. Harry, not only do I marvel at how thou spendest thy time, but also how thou art accompanied. And yet, there is a virtuous man in thy company, whom I have often noted, but I know not his name.
What matter of man? An it like your majesty.
A goodly, portly man, i' faith, with a cheerful look, a pleasing eye, and a most noble carriage. His age, some 50.
50?
Or by Our Lady inclining to 80. And now I remember me. His name is Falstaff.
Yes!
Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Depose me? Oh no, my good lord. Banish pedo, banish bardolph, banish voids. But as for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, and valiant Jack Falstaff, and even more valiant, seeing as he is old Jack Falstaff, banish not him thy Harry's company. banish not him thy Harry's company. Banish plump Jack and banish all the world.
I do. I will.
You do look, my friends, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sirs. Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, ye all which it inherit shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sirs, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into my cell. In their repose, a turn or two I'll walk, to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
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 Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.